Okay, this is my lace cloth. It's a throw. It's not very big. It's probably 18 inches by 24 inches, but it's absolutely stunning and I just adore it. I can't tell you, that's you seeing the whole of it. It's not uniform, it's organic, it's got joins and lace inserted, it's got lace edges, it's got titivations on it in the term of puffs. I don't know if there's any applique on here. Yeah, there is. There's bumpy bits on here. Look. Got little bumpy bits spread about. I mean, you could have this on your knee and just look and look and look and always find something new. There's inserts behind holes. I'm going to cover that with you. Applique on this and inserts behind the holes when we come to how you embellish this and how you join it together. Because this is probably 20 pieces joined together, perhaps more. So what I'm going to show you today is not exactly how to do this, because this was done on a different fabric, but I've got lace in my hoop and I'm going to create a surface that's similar to this, inspired by this, and that will join together and create something like this. Now, when I made this in my lace class, my catchphrase, and I keep saying it and I keep saying it in every class that I do, you couldn't buy this. You couldn't go to a shop and buy this, could you? Well, I don't know, if I was to sell this, I couldn't put a price on it, because you know from doing your little bits of machine embroidery how long this takes. So I couldn't begin to calculate how many hours that took me, and it's probably unsellable because of my market's quite limited, really. In terms of exposure and outlet, etc., that somebody wouldn't want to pay. They wouldn't perhaps appreciate the hours and the time that would cover the price of this, because I couldn't seriously put a price on it. And I don't want to sell it anyway, but I just have it hanging in this room that's my dining room come computer room come work room, and just to take it down every so often and just to do this with it and just to look at it and just be inspired by what's going on the surface, it just really gets me. I know you know what I mean. It gets me here. You know, so you can have one of these if you do this and 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 do it again until you've got enough pieces to join, and then you've got the hours to invest in the process of connecting it and embellishing it and titivating it. Now, this has got mirrors on it. I'm not demonstrating mirrors. There's videos on YouTube on how to apply mirrors. I just find it's such a difficult thing to demonstrate because you can't necessarily see exactly what I'm doing. It's very tricky, it's very fiddly, and I just think the more input you get on how to do mirrors, the better. If you're just going to follow how I do them, then you might struggle. Whereas if you go on YouTube, you still might struggle, but you'll have 6 different viewpoints, and I think that's better for you. So I'm not going to do mirrors in this class, but I am going to do inserts behind holes, and I'm going to do applique on it, and I'm going to do joining on it. Okay, so that's what's going to be next. So I've got my lace in a hoop ready for the machine, upside down like we do when we get to the machine, and I'm going to set my machine up now and show you how to make a piece of this. And bear in mind that there was a lot of pieces. This hoop is a 6-inch hoop, okay, so I would need to make at least 15 of these to get even half the size of this. So you know, you're going to have to be determined and plan and be prepared to put a lot of effort and work into creating all the pieces you need to join it together. Okay, so I'm going to put my machine up, and it probably won't be a massively long demonstration, because it is making the pieces in the hoop on the machine is probably the easiest part, and the rest takes time in terms of making more of these, and then the joining, and then the imagination, okay, and the thought that goes into the embellishment. Alright, so this probably won't be a hugely long demonstration, but hopefully it'll be informative. Okay. I fiddled and faffed about, and hopefully I'm in the right position to sew without having to move the camera again. I'm looking at the viewer. You can see what's going on here. I'm all set up. I'm not turned on because my foot, I don't want to be turned on yet. I'm plugged in though. So like I say, it's in a hoop with the right side facing up, the lace. The first thing I'm going to do is just secure these 2 threads. Okay, that's the essential thing. So I'll bring my lower thread up to the top again. This becomes a habit after a while. You do it without thinking. Needle in, foot down. I'm just going to couple of little circles here just to secure those, then I can cut them off. Okay, so that's that. So I'll cut them off. I've got my little bag here. Put that thread in there. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this lace. Just going to randomly cut it there. And I'm going to do circular motions over to here, and you'll find that when I get near that, that will be pulled by the machine to create a hole, hopefully anyway. But just in case, I'm just going to pull that side away a little bit with my finger, just to make that hole more obvious. So circular motions. Now my problem here is this thread colour. It's really not working for me. I may have to go out and buy some white, although, because I mail ordered this if you remember, and I didn't know if I'd ordered the wrong one or they'd sent the wrong one, but I'm not really happy with the colour on this white lace, but I'm going to keep going with this demonstration, and then I'm possibly going to have to go out sometime today and get some different thread. But anyway, I'll just keep doing this now. So I'm going to go all the way around the whole thing. Okay. Strengthening the edge of this lace. Now I don't know, you know, whether I've got another oil situation going on here. I had an oil situation last week. I don't know if it was with you or with another group, and I thought I'd cleaned out all the oil from underneath, because it's just been in for a service, but I think possibly it's still coming through on the top. So I may just have to do it again. That looks to me like oil, not thread colour. So perhaps some more oil has worked its way to the surface. So I'm just going to get a bit of paper that I tore off before and use that to clean it with, a bit of that paper. But this is actually extremely frustrating and annoying, because I thought I'd cleaned it all out last week. No, look at that. So it's still working its way through. Which just really, I mean, I had an email or a comment of somebody that said they would have kicked off with the shop about the oil, but I thought, well no, because it's my responsibility to check that my machine is okay, not theirs. So basically it was my fault, and I still do believe that, but then I thought I'd cleaned it. But if more's coming off, they've obviously gone over the top with the oil, which isn't a good thing in my opinion. I mean, how much oil do you have to put on a sewing machine? So I'll just try. But now basically that little bit there is ruined, so I'm going to have to try and cover it up. But hopefully you'll learn from this. I just don't know how much cleaning of it I can do, where else I can stick a piece of paper to clean it, or where else I can put some cloth to clean it out. I just don't know. And how long is it going to go on for? I'm not happy about it this time. I'm more annoyed about it now than I was last time, because like I say, last time I took responsibility for not checking that my machine was functioning properly and everything was in order, but I thought I'd done that, and now obviously I haven't done it. So what I'm going to have to do is try and rescue that area. I mean, my plan today was to keep going with this after I'd finished the video. You might not be able to see it, but it's very green, it's hideous. So what I'm going to do is cut a bit of lace off the corner here and put it on top and hope it like it knocks it back a little bit. Bring my bottom thread through. I'm really not happy about it now. I mean, it's really, really silly. Right, I'm just going to secure this. I don't even know whether that's cleaned it adequately. Let's see and find out. So I'm just going to secure this with a few stitches just to get it down on the bottom. I don't even know whether that's cleaned it enough. I'm going to have to start again over here. So I'll cut another hole. I may have to sack this bit off and not use it in my next piece. So again, I'll come and I'm pulling, trying to create a hole and strengthening all the edges, okay. Now, this is a much more tricky surface to embroider than the one with paper on because it's not as sturdy. Can you see that okay? It's, I don't know, it's more fragile somehow than the paper, so you might find if you're prone to snagging, you might get more snagging going on with this, but the trick is fast foot, slow needle, okay. Right, so that's that first hole secured around the edges. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is just big circles just to create a lacy pattern on the surface. I think the oil problem is finished now, so maybe I need to run it off. Before I start sewing with it, I need to run it off. So what I'm going to do with that bit now is cut that bit out because it's secure now. And then I'm going to have a massive hole, aren't I? But it's okay because I'll have a plan for that hole. So again, I'm just going to stitch around the outside of that hole. Just to secure it. To make the edges strong enough to take hand stitch, okay, that's what this is all about. Right, that's actually a beautiful lacy effect now, and it's probably quite a good thing that happened. So now what I'm going to do, now this is quite tricky, I'm going to stitch across this space. So what I'm going to do is, my needle's in there at that edge, I'm going to come across and catch this edge with thread, alright. Make sure you catch the far edge, then I'm going to go back again, okay, and catch it again, and then I'm going to do it again there. Make sure I catch the edge at both times, and then there. Okay, and again make sure I catch that edge. And here. Now they don't have to be uniform like I've done them. Okay, you can do them different ways. You could crisscross, I could crisscross that. But the key is to make sure you catch on both sides. Okay. Now that's quite a grid-like pattern. I'm not sure I like that very much. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use these threads I've just laid down and created there as a base, as if it's an outer bit of fabric, and stitch within that and fill that in with stitch. By catching all the threads together, like at both sides. So I'm literally just going backwards and forwards and across, okay, so that's that filled in now, can you see that? And I'm going to do the same up here in this area. Can you see it? It's almost like creating your own net. Now look at all those beautiful opportunities, those areas there for buttonhole lace around within there. Okay, and then I may come across and do, there's a tiny little area here, I'm going to do that as well. So that's filled in now with machine stitch. So that has altered that dramatically. I still think it's a bit too geometric for my liking, so I'm going to try and create another little area here. That's much better, I think. I like that a lot better. So basically that's all you're doing. So circles again. And then every so often, cut through, make a hole, okay? Now again, this is a situation where you need to see the bigger picture. Now personally, I would be so much happier if I had white thread. If you don't know the story, I always buy my thread from the same place on the internet. I ordered a pack of 6 reels for the machine. I thought I'd ordered white, they sent off white. I didn't know whether they'd got it wrong or I'd got it wrong, so I decided to go with it, okay? But I do believe that I would be a lot happier with this if it was pure white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the morning, I can't go today I don't think, to somewhere where I have to drive about 8 miles, but to try and buy the pure white, because I know I'm not going to be happy with this until it's pure white. But I'm going to keep going. So this is what you're doing, you're building up your surface, and like before, you've got to see the bigger picture, how that is going to morph into this. Okay, you're laying the groundwork now on here to be able to progress to that. And also, by over-stitching with your circles in between your holy areas, you're giving yourself a base that'll take hand stitch better than just the lace would. It makes it stronger, it gives you more of a surface to grasp, to embroider onto. So again, do another hole down here. Right, now I'm going to go across here again with lines because there's something I want to demonstrate to you that requires me to lay threads across there. I'm just going to do them like that, that's sufficient, okay? So that's just like, make your holes, add your extra threads within the shapes if you want them, do your circular motions within them, between your spaces, okay? And you're just creating such beautiful lacy surfaces. See, I get carried away, I don't want to stop, oops. I don't want to stop, I want to keep going. So I'm going to make another hole there. there. So what I'm thinking now in terms of the oil, there's definitely oil in that bit there. Before I start, because these bits that I've done later, they're fine. I don't mind that it's not white because it's almost white. I think before I start machine stitching again for any purpose, I'm going to have to run it through with some scrap fabric to run all the oil out of it, because maybe while it's sitting and it's settling, that's how the oil's getting in. So I may keep this piece but just take out that bit, or perhaps over, but I don't want oil in my work. So no, I think I'll definitely go tomorrow and get some white thread in the morning, but that means I can't do this afternoon, which is what I wanted to do. So maybe I should go this afternoon and then I can work on it in the morning. But anyway, build up your surface like that, and then I'll show you how I would approach the hand embroidery, and I'll show you what I want to do with those lines that I've put across there. Okay, and when I come back on Friday to show you how to hand embellish this piece. I mean, it is just, disregard the oil, it's a unique and beautiful surface and you couldn't buy it. So have a blast with that. I'm really ticked off about my machine, but hey, what can I do? And I'm even more ticked off that I've got to go out this afternoon. But never mind, these things are sent to try us.